Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Flying with Friends, the first 50 years. Today we're on location at the Peach State Aerodrome, and I'm with my good friend Robin Maiden and his son Max. And Max is going to tell us today about how he became a firefighter. So Max, welcome to Flying with Friends.
Happy to be here.
Happy to have you, so good. So how did you become a firefighter?
Well, I grew up flying and always knew I wanted to fly for a living. And 18, moved out of the house, got a job towing banners, and thought I wanted to do the airline thing. And then I fell in love with old airplanes and tail draggers and stuff. Chased that, towed banners in New England, and then traveling around towing banners in the back of the airplane, packing up and traveling around the country, setting up, and I mean all over. And flying biplanes. I just was chasing the romance stuff,
Sure, yeah.
Wanted to wear a scarf, fly a biplane, and do that. So I did that here at Peach State in New England, and then down in Florida. So I did that and kind of just chasing that around. And then I realized I was broke.
Money!
Yeah, that as you get older, that kind of want to take girls on dates, do that sort of thing, have a little spirit change. And being a biplane pilot, unless you own the airplane, you're in the best spot in the world, is maybe not the most lucrative thing, but it's a lot of fun. So I was looking at flying corporate and looking at doing a bunch of different things. Ended up flying a little bit of corporate and moving airplanes around, instructing, and somehow in there got an A&P and was wrenching, doing different things. And I was really close to going and signing up with a local corporate flight department at the time. And I met a guy. Short story long, I moved a Waco from Marathon, Florida to Atlanta in one day, which is a really long way to fly a Waco UPF-7.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I come wheeling in the airport and I meet a guy at a friend's hangar, and he was flying single engine air tankers, air tractor 802s. And I met him, and we get to talking, and I probably had a little more street cred than some guy, random guy, because what have you been doing? I said, well, I just landed. I flew a Waco from Marathon to Atlanta. I mean, if you're out in the country and you see somebody that did that, you go, whoa, where?
Exactly, yeah.
Kind of a journey. So we get to talking, and he's like, well, how come you don't want to go to the airlines? I said, it's not my thing. I'm not ready to do that. And he said, you ever thought about flying single engine air tankers? I said, I don't know anything about it. Wow. And I really didn't. I mean, I had heard a little bit about it, but I didn't know anything. He says, well, you got a lot of tailwheel time, and you have an instrument rating. You got these different things that might apply. And he said, well, hold on, let me pull my phone out. I'll call our chief pilot, I'll call the owner. So he starts making some phone calls. Next thing you know, I'm on the phone with the owner. He says, well, come out and meet us. So I jump in my dad's RV-8, run out there and meet these guys. And they said, look, you know how to fly, you got table time, but we're going to have to put a lot of money into you. Training, getting you some ag time. It's a requirement to get into the firefighting. Mm-hmm. So that's where I ended up failing. We were talking about this earlier, failing a CDL twice.
Oh, wow.
Third time's charm.
Yeah.
So I had to get a CDL, and they checked me out as a driver support guy. So I got checked out in the 802, and they let me ferry a bunch of them out there and for maintenance and for different stuff. And then I ended up flying a Baron that summer, doing relief, flying the relief pilot around, moving stuff around for people.
And the Barons related to the firefighters or separate? Yes.
So the airplanes at that company were 12 and 2. You work 12 days on, 2 days off.
Wow.
So, but they want 7-day-a-week coverage. So on your 2 days off, a relief pilot comes in and gives you 2 days off.
Wow.
So you fly everybody else's airplane. So I did that for a year, and then got more training, got some ag time, got checked out doing that, and then was a level 2 carded seat pilot the next year. So kind of the single engine air tanker thing's a little different, because your first time dropping on a fire is your first time dropping on a fire by yourself, solo single seat plane, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I got into the seat business. Pretty fun.
Single engine air tanker seat.
Correct.
How many seasons did you do that?
4 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. That's That's incredible. So you had a lot of experience in those 4 seasons then.
Yeah, and I ended up doing relief. So they gave you your wheels were a Baron, and you'd travel around. So example would be we had a couple airplanes in Cedar City, Utah, or Chester, California, and two in Mountain Home. So
Wow.
I come wheeling in the Baron. I give you 2 days off. I would give Robin 2 days off. Jump in the Baron, say see you, go to the next town. So
Wow.
it's kind of interesting because you get to see different fuel types and different parts of the country. People do, it's all a little different. So it was a tremendous experience.
Wow. That sounds, I mean, really, really fun, full of adventure. Like
It is,
every
yeah.
place is a new, and it's not like you go Cedar City and then 2 weeks later you're back. You might be somewhere else in the fire, wherever the fire's at. Is that correct? Or
Yeah, the single engineer tanker business is a little different. They move them around a little bit, but they kind of home base them. It's an initial attack resource.
okay.
So they kind of try to, you're the mountain home seats and you're
Oh,
probably going to be there.
okay.
Now you might, RON somewhere else, but you're probably going to come back there.
Okay.
That's kind of the way they want. They keep them for initial attacks, the
Right.
small fires. First initial attack is anything in the first burning period, first day
Okay.
of fire. So that's where that airplane really excels.
Right.
Hmm.
And then after 4 seasons of seat, then what happened next?
Well, you're sniffing around the tanker base. You're traveling around. There's seat bases, which are smaller airports. That was kind of what that airplane program was designed for, is to
Mhm.
operate out of a small airport that, hey, maybe it's just a runway. And each airplane had a trailer, truck and trailer, with fuel and retardant. So you could go out there and have your driver go out and set up shop
Mhm.
at an airport that's close to the fire. And then now you can just reload out of there instead of going further away. So that was kind of the mission with that. And then there's larger air tanker bases like Twin Falls, Boise, where
Mhm.
they take seats and lats, large air tankers. So I was palling around and ended up meeting some people that worked flying large air tankers, and you know, kind of seemed like a logical thing to do. Bigger airplane, different mission. It's a bigger resource, so they kind of move around the country more.
So when you say different mission, you're still fighting fires, but so instead of initial attack, now there's a developed fire. It's big, and they need a lot of stuff to put this big. Try to control the big fire.
Sure, yeah, exactly. So same mission in the large airplane. You can still do initial attack. I mean, you still
Mhm.
do a lot of that,
Right.
but just bigger airplane, more retardant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's talking to you about all your military experience. It's kind of it's like people look and go, why do we have all these different platforms? And it's like, well, they all do a slightly different role.
Yeah.
Why do we have small helicopters, big helicopters, large air tankers, single engine air tankers,
Yeah.
very large air tankers with the DC-10?
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
you kind of
Yeah.
have every airplane fits a different mission.
Yeah. Wow.
So
So the your first season in the LAT, you're in the right seat of a what type of aircraft?
fly a RJ-85 BAE 146.
Okay.
Um, now currently for Aeroflight, and they have 6 of them. So it hauls 3,000 gallons of fire retardant.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a 4-engine British airliner that
Yeah.
was converted. There's 2 companies that run them. We do, and then Neptune runs them. It's kind of on the vendor to come up with their own tank system. So you'll see different airplanes have different tank setups, but ours is all external. They didn't really mess with the pressure vessel per se, the fuselage. They actually,
Wow.
the way Conair designs a tank, it's actually bolted onto the outside of the airplane.
That's interesting. I would have thought they would want everything inside, pumps, pipes, all of that, where you could access it. And
Yeah,
but I guess on the outside you can too, right? I mean,
you can too. The trouble is pressurization, venting. How do you vent the tank, right?
okay.
When you want to drop, how do you? What's the gate look like, or the doors? How does that work? So there's lots of
Okay.
kind of a science in designing
Oh yeah, yeah.
tank systems.
Well, now I see what you're saying. Yeah, I can see where they'd want to stay out of that pressure vessel.
Yeah,
Just clamp
cutting
it
big
all.
holes in the airplane.
Yeah, yeah. That's certification. All that stuff changes.
Yeah, lots of engineering.
Yeah. Wow. Very interesting. So Did I get correct that you did one season in the right seat and then moved to the left seat, or?
Yeah, the way the timing worked, rather be lucky than good.
Sure. Yeah.
Had great timing, and so kind of after a year and a half of being in the right seat, uh, there was some movement in the company, and chief pilot called and says, "Hey, you want to come fly with me and sit in the left seat and start working on your initial attack card, your captain card?"
Wow.
And they type rate everybody out of the gate, so you're
Mhm.
type rated, but
Right.
in the fire world, there's its own certification to be a initial attack captain. So you have to be carded, kind of like getting a IAC card to do air shows or something. It's
Okay.
its own
Yeah.
agency, its own guidance. So chief pilot calls, says, "Hey, you want to come fly with me? Get in the left seat."
Yeah.
What do you say?
Of course.
Yeah. How soon can I be there?
Exactly. Yeah.
So got lucky to do that, and we got a little good flying in that season, and then the next season I started in training again. Unfortunately, it's really hard to plan an upgrade for the company because we're not an airline. We don't have scheduled service. We can't schedule training. It's on the job training. There's kind of no substitute. You have to have to get at a minimum. You have to have 25 missions and 3 letters of recommendation from lead planes. So there's kind of a whole binder of stuff you have to collect, and then go and turn your packet in, and then take a check ride.
And it's all based on fires.
It's all based on fire activity. So, you know, uh, busy year, slow year, we don't have scheduled service to go do this. So you're kind of standing by to go and try to collect some of this stuff and take advantage of the training opportunities as they come.
Right.
But you also have to do the mission too. So it's kind of a balance of learning and still being accurate and effective. So it's an interesting thing.
I'd say very interesting. And then last night when you were telling me about, the describing the fire and how you, what'd you call it, anchor, flank, pinch?
Yeah, anchor, flank, pinch. Yeah, there's just some overarching tactics for fighting wildfires.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's an interesting thing. The thing about flying fires is it's probably like, I wasn't in the military, but it's probably like your military background a little bit, is a lot of these flying jobs aren't about flying the airplane.
Right.
That's assumed, that's secondary.
Yeah.
It's about employing the tool.
Yeah.
And that's really what getting an initial attack card's all about, is employing the tool. It's not about flying, it's about employing the tool and really flying that retardant. And you end up thinking like a ground firefighter. That's the objective, is to think like a ground firefighter, because that's who you're working for. Just like in the air-to-ground role, you're working for the guys on the ground.
Exactly, yeah, from forward air control and A-10s and all that stuff that your dad and I did together for years. And a very, very similar mindset from the way you were describing it.
Yeah, and you
very fluid environment. Everything's changing. Like, you get out there, you're 20 miles north of the fire, and you think this is what's happening. And you get in there and you go, oh, wow, the wind shifted, the terrain is different, whatever. And it's like, okay, we have to adjust to that. And I marvel at the similarities and how cool that is.
Yeah, and priorities and objectives change, right? So wind shift, end of the day, wind shift, hey, maybe we're going from building line to hey, we got to do some structure protection now.
Yeah.
And that can happen on the fire.
Yeah.
You're on a downwind to make a drop, and air attack gets a hold of you and says, hey, wait, hold on, go around, climb back up to maneuvering, because we just saw some structures up underneath the head that lifted up. So it's so dynamic. Even in a 2 or 3 minute orbit, sometimes if the smoke column is laying over with wind, you may not have an opportunity to get in and do structure protection. So you might have 2 objectives, and if one presents itself to do that structure protection and get in there, then you'll go do that. So it's dynamic. It's fun.
Wow. So long days. I suspect you're up early with the sun, and then you're fighting fire as long as you can. Duty day restrictions, anything like that? It's a different set of rules than airlines and other operators.
Correct. We can't fly more than 8 hours a day.
Okay.
We don't really fly at night. We can fly at night. We can't drop at night. So we have cutoff, which is sunset plus 30. We're kind of done then for
civil twilight kind of thing.
For retardant operations. So you can, sunset plus 30, you can go drop, and then fly back at night. But we don't have NVGs or any of that sort of thing.
But 8 hours of flying a day firefighting. That's a good busy day.
It is a busy day, yeah. Especially because you can do in the large air tanker. I think the most sorties I've done in one day is 15-ish.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so sometimes the dispatches are really close. So it's a long day. It's hard to time out. It's hard to hit that 8 hours because a lot of time, the fire's maybe 20 miles away, so you're just back and forth to the airport.
Right. Yeah.
We hot load. We shut down the loading side on the engines. Takes about 6 minutes. They pump at about 500 gallons a minute.
Wow.
So we shut down that side, leave the other two burning, and they hook up a big hose. And 5 minutes later, 6 minutes later,
off you go.
Yep. So
that is really exciting. So
it's fun.
I can imagine. It's been great talking to you about that, and it kind of opened my eyes a little bit about this whole. I was aware of firefighting, but now getting details from you and maps of fires and terminology and your path to the left seat to an LAT it's pretty exciting to me. I mean, I just think, wow, that is so cool.
It's fun, and it's just a privilege to work with a bunch of really talented people from different backgrounds that all kind of fit into this whole program.
Yeah, and you're doing good work. I mean, that's very, very cool.
Yeah,
so
it's fun.
Well, Max, thank you very much for being with us today on the Flying with Friends channel, and it's such a pleasure.
Thanks, Bob.
Talking to you, and we'll do another episode soon.
So. Cheers, let's do it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep. Everybody, thanks a lot. We'll see you later. Come back soon for another episode of Flying with Friends, the first 50 years. We'll see you.